Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LCK matchup.
This Bro navigating an early game, kind of okay. And it has been something they've been good at. They feel well drilled, you know, when it comes to early game plans, as Beryl is going to find himself in an awkward spot, stacking up the Winter's Bite here. The concussive blows do come on down, but Envy just going to get flashed on. The barrier comes in. It is going to be a 1-for-1. Both supports picking up some money. Polo getting the first.
Early Dragon?
I mean, this is the bro activity that we're getting used to, all right? Well, the bros, yeah, they're proactive for the first 10 minutes, and then they get confused there to actually contest this, and so that is going to be YongJae locking down the remaining two. Continuing to pick up wins, as we now have a heal being blown towards the bottom side. Grand Entrance is going to stop Polo from being able to do too much more, but that is a lot of investment into this 2v2, as now Def taking a fair bit of damage. Polo is going to be the focus here, as Envy is stacking this one up. Def getting taken down solo. Next couple of autos are going to do it as the heal comes in, but it's not enough. And that is Envy and Polo picking up a kill in the 2v2.
Button power spike. Oh boy.
Yeah, Pioshik on a big rotation. Flash is available, but there is the quickness in. True Shot Barrage comes down as Envy is just going to get kicked away. And that Glacial Fissure did not help out at all. Deft is gifted the kill, and KT back in control bottom lane.
Very nicely done there by Pioshik. Really good window found. Circumvents the wards in the river, gets over the wall, and even with double investment of the summoners, Envy ends up going down. As YongJae, yeah, should be looking for a punish opportunity here. At the very least, they're going to zone Perfect away. Fate's on his way as well. Oh, Perfect.
Yeah, I think Perfect is
staying.
He is at least flashing, but is he going to just accept his fate? That is the question, and the answer is yes. Just realizing they're not going to be able to get too much done here as Envy moving on over to...
It's not like you picked the Orianna to...
Yeah, crush the 1v1.
Crush the 1v1. That's just never going to be the case. It's going to come down to the team fights. I really like the denial of the grubs here. I don't know if it's actually going to work, though, as Fane and Morgan doing a really good job at denying access to the area, and Mauer Drake is taking a YongJae's on his way.
Yep, Pioshik is going to come back in. BDD gets over the wall, and it's a Hextech Drake. So these Hextech gates are going to be pretty dangerous here as Polo moves in.
That's going to be 4 if Pioshik can't find the smite, and we're going to be having a test.
Deft is closer than Envy, though. He does have access to the arrow. Let's see whether that is going to be utilized, whether that's going to land. 3 for 3 would be okay, but it looks like YongJae does have control unless KT can pressure them away. Smite is up here from Pioshik if he can get in. That is going to be secured by KT. The arrow is going to be soaked by Beryl, but he's just going to explode. That's a kill. Going over to Morgan as now Polo is going to get kidnapped, and now Morgan in as well. But Culver Meek is so valuable, and Pioshik is trying to get out. It's just not going to work because now it is Viego's version of Cassante chasing them down, and this is what a pick comp does. It just chases you to the end of the earth. And that is YongJae really having a phenomenal...
Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now.
It's a 4,000 gold lead. Bro are really, really far ahead.
This would be big, though. If they kill Morgan...
Yeah, he'll miss out on the wave as well. And so Morgan is pretty tanky. Pioshik goes in, but arrow not going to really do too much. Just going to be soaked as now, speaking of soaked, oh dear. Perfect going to be in a little bit of trouble. Does mitigate a bunch of the CC, but he's not going to be able to mitigate death. That is going to be Fate locking that one down. And that's an inner turret in trade. And yeah, they managed to get some bounty gold, but that is not going to stop this from being a massive win for Bro.
That's the inner going down. It's a kill getting picked up as well.
And going to be here for this battle, but this is so much extra money for Bro. I don't know how KT could possibly find a team fight in this one.
They're not. They're just saying we're not going to try. BDD is just TPing towards the top half of the map, which I think is the right call. BRION, get the mid lane turret. Like mid lane turret falling. You know, with the LeBlanc, always going to feel absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah.
And Rakan, as good as he is, can definitely struggle a little bit in these type of face check scenarios, as we do have the arrow to come through.
Yep, absorbed by Beryl, as it could have hit on the BDD. It might have been Fate with the ability to maybe lock something down, but not looking like the case. So, 6,000 gold is the lead. As Pioshik comes on through, BDD and Def now joining up with their team. And Beryl can play the front line somewhat. You know, he's pretty maneuverable, but Pioshik getting on in there. There's a safeguard out. I don't know about that one because he now has to just walk, running out of buttons. Teleport comes in from Perfect. His health bar is back up once again, but the arrow going to connect onto the Cassante. He eats that CC, so that is arrow now down for not much of a response. And Def needs to hit a few of these Qs. Does manage to get himself out, but my god, the burst damage is ridiculous. And KT, they do manage to at least get into a position to maybe challenge. But that is about it. That's the end of the Hopium. And now Fate comes on forward. Beryl looks for the quickness. Onto the LeBlanc. She takes so much damage. Pioshik tries to find her. The kick doesn't get it. And now Fate is able to teleport his way back into this fight once again. PDD over to the side. Will he be able to find a shockwave angle? That's the question. As Perfect is tanking so much in this fight. But there goes Pioshik. That is going to be the dragon going over to Bro, and Fate has teleported in, and he is named effectively because Bro's fate is to win as soon as they have no hope of playoffs.
Oh, we knew going into the day. But the golds, the wallets are so heavy here. The poke from KT just doesn't land the same way, and then the moment that Morgan shows up, KT, you see like, that's not fun.
No, it's not.
That's slow. The electricity. It's obnoxious, Atlas.
It is. And this is unfettered Bro. This is Bro without a care in the world.
I didn't want to believe. Oh, how wrong I was.
Well, this is one of those things. Once you've seen it a few times, it becomes less about superstition and more about it's just what happens. It's just one of those observable things that we see. We may not necessarily be able to explain, but it just happens, and we just have to accept it.
Science can't explain it.
Yeah. Sometimes we just don't have enough to really explain it, but we know that it's a thing. And that's just how it goes. We don't have computers that can work it out yet, but that we know that there's a reason. Coincidence? I think not. And Bro, they don't think so either. They're looking to try and get this push happening towards the bottom side. Morgan, full health, Fate coming on over. That is going to be base broken in the mid lane. Not actually pushing too hard, Bro, but they're just getting what they can with the movements that they have available to them. And it's working out very nicely so far. Perfect. I don't think it's going to be able to defend this wave. So that should be the inhibitor turret in the bottom lane falling down. And KT not wanting to lose this without a fight, but I just don't think it's a fight that they can win as Arrow is going to connect. It's soaked by Perfect. He's probably the right target to soak it, but now they're just closing in onto KT. Deft has gone back. He's picked up maybe an item or two, but that's still inhibitor down in mid, inhibitor down in bot. And Bro will just slink away. Assessment. We love outcome-focused assessment. And Renekton, first pick, won. So I'm going to say that it's really, really good. Well, it hasn't won yet. Let's see whether this team fight, anything miraculous is going to happen. That kick was beautiful. That might be the start of it as Envy is going down low. He will be traded for Pioshik in here, but it's Fate with a lot of damage still. And some very heavy wallets. There's the Heartbreaker forward. Deft is flashing away from YoungJ, but he's not going to be able to get anywhere because Morgan comes in and cuts down his former AD carry. That's going to be the end of the game, and Bro Levers rise up. You might be out of playoff contention, but you can still blue shell these teams that are still in the running. Nexus goes down, and Bro's...
Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LCK matchup.
The work on the Dragons is going to be what they're taking down. Perfect with a whole massive minion wave here. Morgan misses out on a cannon and a melee, but because it's a cannon.
It's not ideal, and I do think you're hamstrung a little bit because of the power of some of the picks right now. Is Pioshik maybe in trouble?
Yeah, wants to try and get out of here, but there's an all-out from Morgan. And Nature's Grasp comes in, flash, and then the Vault Breaker. Beryl is in position. Can taunt them up if he needs to, but he might be sacrificing himself if he does so. The flash forward from Morgan, and there's the Shadow Dash, but Hepa Pole will result in first blood going over to Fate with a cheeky rocket from downtown.
And then when he does know this is happening and he doesn't have flash, does have reinforcements on the way.
Yeah, Plasma's stacked up, but his health bar is so low. Great Vault Breaker there from Pioshik just to make sure that he's definitely not going anywhere. And now with the three grubs that they advantage in game number one. Not being able to quite utilize the Ezreal power though, and thus just sort of fell down to a much more high tempo draft from Bro. This time around, KT have a way better draft, and they also have the high tempo draft. And oh my god, Envy has to use his barrier just to eat through the equalizer, but it doesn't get a whole lot of value. And Pioshik is just dead again.
It's not a great day for Pioshik, Atlas.
It is not. It's also not a great day Dragon for the minute. And we'll now just head back, barrel in hand. They should be able to lock this one down. Deft moving on in as well. We'll have the DPS to lock down the Dragon.
Do note though, with BRION getting the early Dragon, they can give up a good amount. There also might be a Chemtech here, which I think Chemtech, especially with Ivern coming back, we have actually seen increased value. And I'm going to be honest, Ocean here,
it's great. BDD and Pioshik now towards this bottom side. Perfect just left alone to crush down this turret, and that should be all plates going over to KT in the top lane and first turret blood. That is very, very dangerous. There are a lot of members invested towards this bottom side for Bro as well, as we can see Youngjae and Polo in position. The barrel's there as well. Stand United still not off cooldown just yet, so BDD does need to be that little bit more careful. But with that turret falling down, I mean, Perfect is just so incredibly massive.
Yeah, for everything in this game, I think BRION do actually have a bit of an angle.
Oh, that's just cease and desist onto Envy. There are 4 members of Bro here, though. It's a trade of ultimates between the 2 junglers as a result. And Pioshik doesn't die this time, but Beryl eating honey fruit.
On Leandris, as well as Sorkpan Boots, which we're going to be very happy about, obviously.
Yep. Beryl just standing around. That is a teleport in towards this bottom lane. Stand United going to be utilized once again, but they're going to try and blow up BDD as best they can. The culling onto Polu, though, and BDD not even dead yet. He finds a few autos. That's a double for KT in the bottom lane. Perfect taking a lot of damage. They do manage to take him out here as Beryl doesn't have damage himself. That's the Shadow Dash flash, and that was a weird thing to do, but it's fine because KT are also taking out a turret mid and probably the inner as well.
Looks good for a second there for BRION, but KT with the map going very aggressively. If like Envy maybe hits a W a little bit earlier, there's perfect.
Yeah, nice headbutt back onto Perfect, who's being thrown around like a ragdoll. The Flame Spitter still getting a fair bit of work done, but Polo just soaks it up and he'll be A-OK. They are punishing the Rumble here as he tries to get that juicy wave topside.
The gold lead is still there for KT, and they're gonna get this this bot side outer as well, but BRION are trading up now slowly and steadily, and we're currently looking at a fed Fate and a fed Envy and 2 fed carries. When there's a Locket, it's definitely going to be something that's kind of tough to deal with. Envy.
Well, yeah, that is cease and desist once again coming in, and Envy going to have to flash. Beryl not finding the Shadow Dash there, so no taunt onto Envy, but he does have to use both of his summoner spells.
So I don't think it's the end of the world, but they're not really getting anything out of investing a teleport. If you can like turn that shoved wave into some side lane pressure and then rotate over quickly, I think that could have been an angle, but...
No, they didn't spot him! And Pioshik's now going to be seen on the minion wave, as now KT in somewhat of a decent position, but Youngjae, great angle for Nature's Grasp. He's going to throw it in here as Beryl not quite in range. BDD able to move out of the way of the CC, and KT just moves towards the Dragon Pit. They will be able to stay out of trouble, but this is going to be Bro taking down this outer turret. The Dragon is secured in trade for that one. So KT now is sold. He has no idea what's going on. They will now invest the Scryer as now the teleport comes in. Yep.
Should probably dip BRION, but they're not gonna. They're using the Maokai ult.
Yeah, Perfect is going to come in as well. Gets a lot of damage, but it's still the Maokai that's able to lock down the Baron. Morgan is going to go all out, but he's now all out of the fight. If he's just the one sacrifice, though, that is very high value. The rest of Bro, they're not going to be able to make it all the way out just yet, though, as Dev, he wants the Killer Instinct in. He's able to deliver a Shen as well. And Polu, he'll be taken out also. 3 Barons for 2. Maybe you just take that. Maybe that's just fine. It's all about wildlife conservation.
We're going to
but not Nexus conservation or turret conservation. Okay, they will definitely be taking those down.
BRION, you need to push hard. BDD doesn't have TP.
Yeah.
You need to keep going.
And they are going to look to do that. Equalizer can be invested in this wave.
That's
it's not going to be enough. Yeah, Inhib's going to go down. And BDD is still coming back. Oh man, he could have even pushed forward and tried to get himself a inhibitor turret there, but he actually doesn't do so, so it's just a straight up trade.
Yeah, I think they didn't have that much sweeping done in the jungle behind them, so if they get flanked,
Yeah.
you don't want to be the team that over pushes for an inhibitor and then loses from there. But this is it's a dead even, Atlas. KT,
Yeah.
I gotta find a pick. I gotta find an individual target and blow him up in seconds.
Ocean Soul on the table as Morgan goes forward aggressively, utilizing that W. There's an equalizer thrown in, and he also gets CC. That's a lot of damage onto Morgan. No teleport to bring him back into a fight is now perfect. He has him in the banana brush, and there's the equalizer, but he hesitated for just that little bit. And that equalizer is not going to get the value that it really wanted. Pioshik is diving in to that backline as BDD is layering all the damage. They take down Depth, but at what cost is BDD? He's also executed from this one. The only damage left is Perfect, who wants to turn it onto Envy, and he is still very, very big. But is he big enough to try and take these guys down? He has no flash. He's not getting out, and Morgan's going to get a triple kill. Did you bro leave in the 2-0, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh, we both know I didn't bro leave, Atlas. But right now, BRION at the very least gonna get the dragon.
Felt it in the air today.
I want to highlight here specifically as a dragon gets taken, so it's not as big of.
They might be the favorites for getting to playoffs, but that's only because it's impossible for Bro to get to the playoffs. 3,000
He's
gold.
sitting on the maul as well. And again, you have the Maokai ult. Like, if you're on the objective first, approaching is really, really tough.
Yeah, well, Beryl is going to find a Shadow Dash onto Morgan in that front line. The culling comes down. They keep the Baron leashed as Deft is in trouble. He's just singled out and obliterated. This equalizer is a little bit better, but Envy is still alive. That Mora Malmortius doing absolute wonders. And KT are being torn to shreds. The Bramble comes down and smashes them, but BDD, he's dancing around the fight. It's now a 1v1, BDD versus Morgan, and Fate, he'll come in so late to the fight after TPing back, and he will end the hopes for KT.
And I think that might be it, Atlas. The teleport is there for Morgan. And Fate, this is a Fed 80 carry. He's gonna shred for this in seconds.
And you might count out Bro when they are still within a shot of the playoffs, but once they are eliminated, once all of that pressure is removed, this is the scariest team in the LCK.
Look at that.
That is
That's an arm
pretty
guard.
decent arm guard position.
Oh, Pioshik, anywhere near the pit, he has the blast cone.
And he doesn't actually use it to get over the wall. That is going to be the Baron secured here by Bro. They then dive on top of the Lucian, who is in just straight up the wrong position. Morgan is looking for depth as he's just supercharging away. It is now a 5 versus 4 in favor of Bro. They have the Baron. They have inhibitor turrets removed.
Take the inhibs, Bro. You can do it.
I reckon they could just probably follow some minions there. They're pretty tough and strong minions now.
They could, Atlas, but they're going to do this textbook.
Oh,
We're not taking any risks. Everyone to the top lane. Pioshik pulling the wave, trying to deny, but there's a top wave.
And Equalizer is up and available, but these are Baron buff minions. I don't know whether that's going to stop any of them from just marching towards the Nexus. 2 inhibs now down Bro, just with some time on these Nexus turrets. And did you predict it? Did you know what was happening? Bro taking down KT. As Beryl, he'll be cut up where he stands. Poet will die, but he doesn't mind about that one. Deft is on the fountain, nothing he can do, and the Nexus will go.
These were the best highlights from today's LCK matchup. Click that subscribe button faster than Ramus can say,
Okay.
see you on the next one.